matter about gaslighting and who got gaslit recently on Mafs, or the subject of gaslighting behaviour on Married at First Sight of this year, 2025. And I'm talking about the complete manipulative gaslighter of Tim Groomey from Married at First Sight this year, that gaslit poor Katie on Married at First Sight of this year, 2025, of this season's Married at First Sight. Like, at first, obviously, when he introduced himself on the first couple of episodes, you thought he might be an alright person because he doesn't judge people, apparently, what he said in his audition tape, and he seemed like a legit person. But as episodes went on, you really could tell he had apparently a Pacific type of female that he would go for, which I think is absolutely hilarious, considering he's not the most good-looking person anyway, and isn't the hottest of guys, and he's got weight problems or weight issues himself, so I don't know why he's judging Katie on Married at First Sight for her weight or her looks, or he wanted to go out with a blonde over a redhead, and he was pretty much making her to look out to be the one that didn't say anything to him, or that was acting weird on their wedding night or their honeymoon, when he clearly didn't even talk to her on the wedding night and made things very awkward. Like, he ignored Katie on the wedding night. He started to do other weird behaviors, like not even talking to her and not having open conversations, ignoring her. Then he disappeared to Melbourne. He ghosted her, ignored her phone calls, then randomly coming back on yesterday's commitment ceremony on Married at First Sight. And at least one thing that was good out of this whole storyline of Tim and Katie's wedding situation on Married at First Sight, or the experiment, is that when she decided to leave the experiment last night, when they had to write leave or stay, she made the right decision of leaving, because there was no love between her and Tim at all. Like, Tim has other ideas of what he would prefer in a female or a form of a relationship. And he at least made the perfect right decision to leave the experiment, which obviously would have been heartbreaking and hard for Katie, because of course she didn't end up finding any love on Married at First Sight. Unfortunately, she got matched with the wrong type of person. She got matched with a cunning, calculative, manipulative, gaslighting asshole. And I just thought, why not do a bit of a video about it, and a video about behavior. Not that I study behavior or anything like that, but apparently, from what I read of a little bit of a article, apparently after Katie left the experiment, that's what she has been doing. She's been studying like people's behavior, or toxic relationships, or controlling relationships, or gaslighting type of relationships, after leaving the show of Married at First Sight last night. And obviously it was sad to see Katie go for some weird reason, even though I know she didn't find the ideal, loving, caring, kind partner on Married at First Sight. But I really kind of wish she was still on the show, even though she didn't find the type of love that she wanted. Like, I really do feel sorry for her, and I really do miss that human being and that person on the show Married at First Sight. I can't say a character, because the show is realistic. It's based on true people. It's based on a social experiment where people get audition for the show and get matched with different people, and either it works out for the best, or they leave the experiment for good and they don't find love, or they've hooked up with the wrong people, or there's cheating scandals, or there's people that don't pay attention to their partner on the show. And that's pretty much what happened with the whole Tim and Katie storyline, or scenario, I should say, on Married at First Sight, because it's not a storyline, it was true facts. They were obviously put together. Obviously, Tim showed his true manipulative, gaslighting, narcissistic, asshole traits of a personality, because clearly what he did to Katie was not on and not a good behavior at all, and not necessarily either, which I definitely thought I would make a bit of a video on. Now, I've not made a lot of videos about gaslighting or narcissistic people before, particularly not on this channel, but I definitely would like to do that now, because I just found that sort of subject to be interesting, because everyone would have gone through it in life. If you're dating people from your past, everyone would have dealt with someone that was at times in their life manipulative, narcissistic, or a gaslighter. And that's how I felt watching recent Married at First Sight, because that's happened a lot in this season. And it's happened a lot in previous seasons too, where people have obviously gaslit people on Married at First Sight. I'm pretty sure it's happened from season 1 to now. Like, I'm pretty sure gaslighting is a subject in Married at First Sight a lot. A lot of people do gaslight people, sadly, in today's society, and it's awful for the victims, because they get made to feel like they're in the wrong. And Katie even didn't stick up for herself until last night. Last night, when Tim tried to talk, she shushed him, which I was so happy about. Katie's shushing Tim on at Married at First Sight last night, when she told him to be quiet or shush, and she shushed him and said, "Can I speak?" I clapped so loudly. That was an absolutely amazing thing. She finally spoke up for herself, and she finally realized that she no longer is the perpetrator, that she's not the gaslighter, that she's the victim, that Tim is not the victim. Tim played the victim, but definitely Tim was not the victim. Katie was the victim on Married at First Sight, and she spoke up for herself, and she pretty much explained to herself that she's worthy of love, that she deserves to find true love. And everyone on Married at First Sight, I think, really felt sorry for her, not only prior to last night's episode, but previous episodes for the last 3-4 weeks or so. And as Tim kept showing his bad, narcissistic, gaslighting behavior, everyone felt sorry for her. That was not only the females on Married at First Sight, but that was a lot of the males too felt sorry for Katie as well. So I thought I'd do a bit of a video about that, and I definitely will follow them on Facebook, and I hope Katie on Married at First Sight definitely finds a loving, caring, non-controlling, non-manipulative, non-gaslighting type of partner that will definitely treat her right, and that she can go on a proper date with, and it not be an experiment type of situation, or not a Married at First Sight type of situation, unless that's what she and the partner that she falls for ends up wanting to do. Hopefully, whatever situation Katie ends up dealing with in the near future, that she finds the right sort of person. Just unfortunately, Married at First Sight was not the show for her, and it was obviously not the right show, and she was obviously not picked with the right person. She was picked with a complete terrible human being, and who I don't hope finds love at all. I think Tim should be left alone for the rest of his life and lead a very lonely existence. And that's all I'm going to say in this video, and I hope you've enjoyed this video at home, and I hope if you're out there single yourself, that you try and find the right sort of people. I'm obviously taken, and I have a perfect girlfriend who is absolutely loving and I care about, and he's none of these traits. I was mainly doing it about last night's Married at First Sight episode, and about the themes that Married at First Sight deal with. Sometimes they deal with people who can be manipulative, can be controlling, can be gaslighting, can of course be loving, caring as well, can be cheaters. It deals with all forms of different human beings and different human behaviors and traits, and gaslighting was obviously one of the subjects that I wanted to talk about, particularly with the Tim and Katie scenario of last night's particular storyline, of particularly like when she finally stood up for herself, and when they read out the pamphlet, the envelopes, the leave or stay, and they both agreed to leave, was the best decision ever. Like, if one of them chose to stay and one of them chose to leave, then unfortunately Katie would have to be dealing with more narcissistic behavior, more gaslighting by Tim, which obviously would have been absolutely awful, that she would have had to deal with that for another week on the show. So I'm glad he made the decision to leave as well. And I hope that she gets so many followers now after seeing her story, and well, not her story, but seeing her situation on Married at First Sight. I hope she gets so many more followers on her Instagram or Facebook, or if she's on TikTok, on there as well. I also hope that Tim loses people on Facebook, Instagram, if he's got TikTok or whatever social media Tim has. I hope he loses his followers, because narcissistic, manipulative, and gaslighting people definitely don't deserve followers on social media. And Tim is definitely a prime example of someone who's a manipulative, controlling, gaslighting asshole. And Katie is an example of a sweet, kind, caring victim of controlling, manipulative, gaslighting asshole. That was Tim in Married at First Sight. But hopefully she has a bright future ahead and finds the right type of loving, caring, sweet type of partner that she can have a bright future with. So good luck to Kate from this year's season of Married at First Sight. I hope she has a bright future, and I'm sorry she couldn't find love on this season. And I'll see you in the next video, whether it be another video about more gaslighters on Married at First Sight, or people who are manipulative, controlling, and gaslighting in either Married at First Sight or in TV shows that are reality or even fictional movies. Until then, take care and don't deal with them. They don't, or if you deal with them, tell them as it is, that you are the victim and that they are the nasty ones. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Don't be a victim to manipulative, controlling gaslighters.
No.
Hello.
Alright.